Welcome back, gang. I'm Joe with Max Packs. As everybody knows, sealed Pokemon product only goes up long term. So why has Rudy recently bought 6,000 ETBs of Chaos Rising? Well, the current Pokemon market is starting to expose not the cracks, but people that do operate off of leverage. And pretty much a lot of investors throughout all of the markets say, every now and again we need this little reset, we need this correction, we need this flush out all of the people that shouldn't be there. Hit them where it hurts for a little bit, get them out of here so that we can reach new highs. Honestly, I think that's what we're in the middle of. We're in the middle of this flush. Why did Rudy buy 6,000 Chaos Rising ETBs? Because they're sitting at MSRP. Now, all these resellers, all these scalpers, all these botters are buying them at MSRP from Walmart, Target, wherever. They all buy on a credit card. They're not multimillionaires like Rudy. I'm also not a multimillionaire. I buy what I can afford. If I can't afford it, pay it off immediately, then, I can't afford it. Let's be real here. That's the way most of us should operate. But unfortunately, when you're dealing in bulk quantities and stuff and you get super greedy, you got that credit card that that credit card bill comes due and you got to pay it off. You can't carry 20% interest when something might be flat for years on end. You never know when that Pokemon box is going to boom. It will, but you never know when. But by now, every single person in the Pokemon market knows that sealed Pokemon only goes up long term. It doesn't matter if you got into the hobby a week ago, 10 years ago, everybody knows it by now. Everybody's starting a sealed collection because that's their investment. That's what goes up, Sealed product goes up and everybody knows it. So why would you dump stuff at MSRP losing money when if you could hold it, it would go up. You would be making money. It's just because the bills are due. The leverage is due. You're essentially being called. You gotta sell. You have no other choice. Thankfully, shops like me, I don't have an LGS. I don't have credit card bills. I don't operate with leverage. I only operate with what I can afford. So fortunately with LGSs and stuff like that, they probably got stuff at wholesale. So they're probably perfectly fine selling it at MSRP. They should be. They should be. Trust me on that. They should be. If they're buying it secondhand from, if a botter has a deal with a shop already and he's buying thousands of ETBs, well, that's a different story. You got bills, you got employees, you got rent, your AC just went out. They have to afford all that. I just have to pay for my rent. That's it. I don't have any employees. I'm extremely thankful that I went the route of having a website. Granted, I wouldn't be able to have an LGS even if I wanted to, just because I work wonky hours. My schedule changes every week. Don't get enough sleep to begin with, but trying to man a whole store, security, keeping up with all that, it just would never happen. The people that do, thankfully they're there, but if they're operating on leverage, they're gonna get flushed out, just like all these other people. Chaos Rising was a dud. Pitch Black was a dud. Maybe there's a small chance they just want, all these funds for the 30th anniversary. They know it's coming. We already saw the Pokemon Center drops. Maybe they got a shit ton on Pokemon Center, which is very possible. The botters go crazy on Pokemon Center. Don't let anybody fool you. They go crazy on Pokemon Center. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's both. I think it's both. I think it's just a flush for the credit card users. And it has to be. What else could that be? I'm perfectly fine holding all this stuff at MSRP. Maybe we see this continue into the 30th in the Rayquaza set. Maybe the supply outweighs the demand finally. I don't think so. I think the 30th anniversary has way too much depth. I think Rayquaza is on par with Charizard in popularity, and I think the Rayquaza set should probably rival the Phantasmal Flame set. I think that's where Chaos Rising, Pitch Black kind of went lackluster. They don't have the star power like the others. Maybe we see that. I don't think so. I think the printers go burr. I think we see a lot of supply. I think it's simply not enough for sets with the star power, with the depth that the 30th anniversary has, and the star power of the Rayquaza set. I truly do think that those two sets usher the boom back and carries it back into the start of 2027, into the summer slowdown of 2027, and we see what happens next year. And I think when that happens, those that have been buying this summer slowdown, this crash, this dip, this pullback, whatever you want to call this, will be like the crypto bros when they go into work and they, tell their boss, hey buddy, you better watch your mouth. Watch the way you're talking to me. I'm a crypto millionaire now. Everybody's seen those memes. I always laugh at those. Those are so funny. I wonder if anybody's actually done that. I have found the best route for me, my business, investing in both Pokemon and normal stocks and crypto, you could say, and for wealth building, is simply to keep buying. In the stock world, they call that dollar cost averaging. Just never stop. It's a lot easier in the stock market. You can just set the reoccurring buys, set it and forget it. A little bit hard to do that with Pokemon. A lot of times you got to go out there and search for some deals. A lot of times you got to go out there and search for new people. If you're lucky, you build some relationships and the people bring the product to you. You might not always like their price. You might not always be able to pick your price. But if you're lucky, you built that relationship already and people are bringing that to you. And because we're in this down market, because you're more able to pick and choose what you want, keep buying the good sets. Buy the dip. Buy the sets that are about to rotate out. Those are all great choices. Buy Destined Rivals. It just reprinted. It's struggling to recover to its highs right now. It's a mix of everything. A reprint, a major reprint, let me add that. Summer slowdown. The loss of interest. Maybe a lot of the star cards have gotten a better card since then. Looking at you, Mewtwo, potentially, maybe. The Psyduck, maybe. I don't know. There's potential. Buy Twilight and Surging. Sure, there was way better opportunities to get into these two sets. I was screaming at you to buy when they were there. If you didn't listen, the next best time to buy is now. They're both getting ready to rotate out. They're both pretty good sets. You can't go wrong with either one of them. Buy sets like Prismatic. It honestly blows my mind. You can get an ETB for under $160 on this. They were just over $210 or $220. How are they still $160 or less? How are the SPCs under $300? I think they're under $270. How? This is a fantastic product. You get an exclusive EV promo, which in a PSA 10 sells for, I don't know, $300-$400. I think I bought mine for $250 a little while ago. Like a year ago. This is an S tier product. Everybody knows what UPCs do. Look at the 151 UPC. Look at the Sword and Shield UPCs. You don't think Prismatic's going to do something similar? And it's sitting at under 270? Before I made this video, I went on TCG Player and I looked. How many were on the market? There's exactly 712 at a cost of, we'll just say $270. That would cost you $190,000 to wipe the entire market clean. And guess what? You could set the new market price. Only 190 grand. I know to a lot of us, me, 190 grand is a lot more than I make in a year. 190 grand is a lot of money. But to the whales, to the investors that are bringing lots of money, to these management funds that are bringing lots of money into here, that is absolutely nothing. That is like a drop in the ocean. That is like pennies. And they can easily do it. $270 for a Prismatic SPC is cheap. Let me tell you, that is cheap. And you already know the big wigs. I'm looking at you, Rudy. The big wigs already went ham on it. You already know they believe in the product. So why don't you believe in the product? If Rudy already came out and said, hey, I spent whatever, $1 million or $500,000 or $1.5 million, whatever it was, on SPCs, why aren't you a believer? You see what I'm saying? Why aren't you a believer? Why aren't you taking advantage of that opportunity that is in front of you? You know it rotates out in April 2027, right? Yet people do not care that these SPCs are under 270 still. There's no frenzy, no hype, no craze. The only thing that's going on is it is screaming to you to buy me. They are screaming deals going on right now, and just simply nobody cares. Nobody cares. Buy it. Buy the dip. You can say, oh, I'm trying to push my heavy bags onto you. Am I? If I believe in the product long term? Am I really? Even if I sell everything I have for the business, do you not think that me as a sealed investor has a shit ton of it already put out, already in the back stock for later? Do you not think that? These are screaming deals, guys. And instead of going out and buying it and taking the opportunity that the market is providing you, people just want to attack people in the comments. Maybe I do have the heavy bags. Guys, I do not think this crash lasts much longer. We have two incredibly hyped sets getting ready to come out. It's hard to see them not turning this around. It's hard to not see the craze and the hype that is going to be the 30th anniversary. That is going to be another mega Rayquaza set. I believe the Rayquaza will rival that Charizard. We have some potential leaks, and it does look pretty good. Now, I don't know if the leaks are true or not. Try not to, lean too much into that until there's actually a reveal. But they're looking pretty good. I think the Rayquaza is going to be beautiful. And I think it's going to be pretty much a 1-for-1 of Phantasmal Flames. Instead of a Charizard, you're going to get a Rayquaza. Same thing with Chaos Rising. Instead of a Charizard, you got a Greninja. Same thing. Whatever reason, people don't like Chaos Rising. But they love Twilight Masquerade. Doesn't make sense. All I got to say is buy while you can. Add to your investment portfolio, add to your collection, finish your master set while you still can, while prices are still down, while we're still in this dip. I don't think it lasts too much longer. Take a look at the Perfect Order booster boxes. They dipped down to 170 and the sell-through rate went through the roof. Personally, I think this is extremely healthy. I like to see that. A weaker set gets down to MSRP and people just start buying the crap out of it. That is healthy. That is what we should see. And before you know it, the rest of the market will look exactly like that as well. And you will be kicking yourself once more for not buying the dip. Trust me, I did it last year. I only bought a little bit. I only dibbled a little bit, I was like, maybe this lasts longer. Maybe this is the end of things, guys. Maybe it really is. So I didn't buy as hard as I should. And my business suffered because of it. Because when we came out of that, everything roared super expensive. Everybody wanted 90+% for everything. It was hard to buy stuff. And I paid the price for that. I won't pay the price for that this year. I may pay the price that everything gets reprinted, it gets cut in 50%. And if it does, I'll just buy more. DCA into it, lower my buy-in position, and as it starts to curl back up, as that FOMO comes back, as all the hype and craze comes back because Prismatic's rotating out and now it's $200 a boost ETB again, that's when I'll sell it all. Sell it into the hype. Buy the dip, sell into the hype. Not sell into the dip, buy back into the hype. That's not how this works. It's not how it's supposed to work. Yet it seems that's how everybody in this hobby wants to work. They want to buy up here, not here. You buy here and sell here. Stop doing things backwards. Don't be a Timmy. You're better than that. That's why you watch this channel. That's why you support Max Packs. That's why you're in the Discord. That's why you ask questions. Speaking of which, ask questions in the comments below. Give me hashtag Jacked Psyduck. Hashtag Jacked Psyduck if you made it this far. See you guys on the next video.